On Nostalgia, everybody has a good voice, so relax and go in the zone with us. Get your songbook, look in the index, find the song that is playing, and sing along. Join ZIZ Radio every Thursday from 1 to 3 for Nostalgia. It's music to soothe you right where it hurts. ZIZ Radio, touching you with variety and style.
Guess what? March Madness is here with ZIZ, celebrating 64 years strong where your brand belongs. St. Kitts and Nevis, it's time to level up your business with the biggest ad sale of the year. We've got it all at crazy discounted rates. Radio, TV, and social media. Want to make big sales? You need to be where the people are. And guess what? They're tuned into ZIZ, the #1 broadcast network in the Federation. Maximum reach, unbeatable deals, and 64 years of trusted media power. Don't get left behind. Secure your spot now before they're gone. Call our marketing team at 662-8203 or email sales@ZIZonline.com today. It's ZIZ March Madness. 64 years strong, where your brand belongs.
Every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., ZIZ Radio goes into overdrive with the Magic Fingers Ronnie Rascal Mega Mix Show. You heard? Up your dial to 96.1 FM. It's the show that brings the vibes to your Saturday afternoon lime, bar hopping, party hangouts, or just driving around. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. It's old school and new school remixes by yours truly, Magic Fingers, Ronnie Rascal, every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio.
Good morning and welcome to everyone out there listening or viewing. However you're tuning, we thank you for tuning in to another edition of Policing With You. I am your host for today, Inspector Marvin Thompson. In studio with me this morning I have a very special guest, and I'll give him the honor of introducing himself, and we'll get right into the program shortly after that.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Everett Penn. I'm the Executive Director of the Teen and Police Service Academy. Just so glad to be back in St. Kitts and Nevis. I come to you from Houston, Texas. Today, being in St. Kitts and Nevis, just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be back here in your country. The excitement is great because we are starting back up with the Teen and Police Service Academy after a few years, the pandemic stopping us here. But this program of bringing together youth and police for a better understanding, to make for less crime, is a program that we started in the United States back in 2011. You had it here for several years before the pandemic, and just so glad that we're back. And certainly people, while we're talking today, can visit us at www.tapsacademy.org to learn more about the program. But so glad that we have this opportunity to come back and make for better relations between youth, police, and the community.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So, can you just tell us what was the inspiration behind the TAPS program?
Indeed. If you think about the time frame, 2012, 2013 time frame, even before that, for us in the United States, it was Rodney King. The frustration, the disagreement between police and community was seen, especially the African American community and the police. And then we saw that growing in Houston, Texas, and other places around the United States. And we said with the Houston Police Department, what are we going to do about it? What is going to be our response? And we looked at programs like DARE, GREAT, POW, Citizens Police Academies, and said we need to have a program that's going to focus on some of our most at-risk youth, those that don't like the police. What are we going to do to have an opportunity for them to meet each other, police and those youth, those police and their family and their communities, to talk to each other, to learn from each other, have an opportunity to listen, talk, and hear better points of view, and not the false stuff, but the real stuff about what's going on. Well, we started that program in Houston, Texas in 2011. We have grown to serve about 8,000 youth every single year. And in serving those youth, we go to juvenile facilities, the troubled schools, and those people that simply don't like the police, and give an opportunity for dialogue to take place, learning of modules and lessons, that there's a better understanding of what the police do, what is the police culture, and what is youth culture. Why do the youth do some things that they do? But one of the things that we have to remember as adults is we were all youth before also. And we probably did some things that back in the day somebody said, what are you doing? But if we can look to try to understand that, and if we do see the potential of criminal behavior, try to change that so it doesn't turn into criminal behavior, that's a true positive.
I have to agree with you there. And when you spoke of us being youth before and doing some crazy stuff, right?
Yes.
I had a flashback. if not for the intervention of my mother and maybe some divine intervention as well, I could have easily been on the other side.
And we have to understand that it was some mentor, some positive, whether it be a family member, a priest, a church person, a coach, and someone intervened, because we all have done things that probably could have gotten us in trouble. But someone took us aside and said, hey, don't do that again. Don't do worse than that. And let me tell you another way to look at the problem, to look at life, so you're doing something positive. We hear that over and over again. That's why mentorship is so very important, and TAPS Academy gives an opportunity for mentorship to take place.
But in terms of the schools in St. Kitts, how or why those particular schools?
Well, you all have the opportunity to choose the schools. You know the students the very, very best. You know where you need to build those relationships. You know the neighborhoods, you know the families, the communities. What we know for sure as a criminologist is when people don't have faith in the police, when they don't have a faith in what their position is in life, that they're being treated unfairly, that they don't have legitimacy in government, they don't have legitimacy in the police, and they are more likely to commit crimes. So if people have an opportunity to talk with you, to discuss problems and issues, especially those people we call on the fringe, those people who wouldn't see you coming and run the opposite way. Yeah. We have to give them an opportunity to communicate with each other. And you've probably heard the term a lot, community policing.
Yes.
One of the problems with community policing is it often goes to the people who already like the police. They're the people who come to your meetings. They're the people who have your cookies and your milk and all those other refreshments you may have. But what about the individuals that don't like the police? Where is their opportunity to dialogue with you? You learn from them some of the issues. They learn from you. And then they say, you know what? Maybe it isn't good that I do these crimes or do these delinquent acts or these things that are causing trouble here, because now I understand that this leads to this and that, so forth and so on. So this gives an opportunity for that conversation to take place.
I have to agree with you there. I think the breakdown in communication, or the lack of communication between the persons who have a particular feeling about the police,
Yes.
not necessarily positive,
Yes.
are the persons who are more likely to have an issue
Yes.
with the police when we come into
Yes.
contact, close contact. So I can see where it would be invaluable to have some relationship and reduce the number of persons who may not like the police, but to dispel some of the things that we have that is causing that feeling in the first
Yes.
place. But all that would have to start with some kind of conversation. So I
Correct.
can see where you're going
Yes.
in that regard. You mentioned earlier in terms of the persons doing modules. So
Yes.
the persons who are involved in the TAPS program, the facilitators, instructors, or whatever. How does that work?
So we come in, and once we say a go to TAPS Academy, and so blessed that your department, your commissioner, and all have thought that it is very important, we then train the officers in skill sets of listening, active listening, what our modules are, and we have some 20 so modules on everything from conflict mediation to youth culture to police, role of the police, to crime prevention. About 21 of them. And again, they're on www.tapsacademy.org for others to see while we're talking here. And what we have found is that the training that takes place with the police officers allows them to feel the importance, like you've just mentioned, of open communication. I've had the opportunity to train thousands of police officers. You have a very difficult job. Your job is to control the situation. When I call emergency, I need help, I'm asking a stranger, a police officer, to come to resolve the situation. That's a very brave job that you and your officers do every single day. For strangers, you do that and put your life on the line. We ask that there be maybe a little bit of altering with that with TAPS Academy, to step it down a level, to listen carefully and not necessarily be the person who's in charge of the situation, but conversation like we're doing right now. That you have a point of view, you have lessons, we have lessons as the community, that we have an opportunity to talk. So we go through this training session. We then have the training of the modules, teaching active listening, all the parts of TAPS Academy, so that it can be an effective program for both the youth, the community, and the officer. Because what we find is many times the officers will say, you know, those thoughts I had about the kids, I thought that because I didn't know them. I thought that because I didn't spend time with them. But once I spent time with them, that's not really what they're thinking. They want to have goals and objectives. They want to have a good family. They want to see some of the things. And we have a lot more in common between police and youth than we do have apart.
And I can see where that. One thing that struck me, though, is where you said that when the officer goes there, he's not necessarily the person in charge. From a professional standpoint, that's almost novel.
Okay. All right. Tell me more about that.
Because generally when you go to a situation, you
Yes.
go there to take charge of the situation,
Right.
and get it resolved.
Yes. Yes.
As part of the exercise, you're expected to listen.
Yes.
But you're listening with a view to take it,
Yes.
knowing that you're in charge,
Yes.
to fix.
Yes.
Not necessarily to hear and then see where it plays out from then. You generally go with a mindset to fix.
You're
not
gonna solve the
necessarily
problem.
open-minded,
Right.
just to listen and then determine how to fix,
Right.
if to fix at all.
But that's your job. That's
yeah.
your job as a police officer. We're
So-
calling on you for the help.
So, but I see there's some merit in what you said in terms of going, hearing, and then making a determination based on the listening. Because it may be that you don't need to do anything else other than listen.
Yes.
And just point persons in the right direction, maybe to persons who might have had a misunderstanding. Then you are then in a position not to take charge, but to be sort of a mediator and have persons in the community help resolve some of the issues.
You're right. Communication.
So I see some merit, and you're saying that as part of the training the officers get, this is in addition to what we might be taught as police officers, a different way of thinking. So you're adding an additional tool in the toolbox.
Additional tool in the toolbox. Safety first at all times, but being open to a situation to hear both sides. Sadly, in the United States, we have the issue of race and socioeconomic levels where folks may think differently about you because of your race, your socioeconomic area, even your geographical area where you're from. So we've got to make sure a police officer comes to that situation open enough to listen to both sides equally and allow for that exchange to take place, to go to resolve, to have an opportunity to solve these problems. So we do that in our training.
Yeah. And I see that definitely that there is merit across the board for all officers to add that as part of our repertoire.
Yes, safety first.
Safety first.
Always safety first.
Yes. In terms of, and we have been, okay, we'll just take a break and then we'll come back.
That sounds good.
National Bank invites you to celebrate 54 years of banking on us. Use our self-service center on our website to request bank statements, manager's checks, proof of address, embassy letters, and reference letters absolutely free for the entire month of February. Visit our website at www.sknanb.com to take advantage of this amazing offer. Terms and conditions apply.
You ready? Let's go!
St. Kitts and Nevis, get ready. The second edition of the Jesus in the City Parade and Festival is coming to Warner Park Bastille on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Join thousands of believers from across the Federation and the Caribbean as we unite in a powerful celebration of love for God and love for people through music, the arts, and the culture. The festivities kick off at 11 a.m. with the parade leaving Warner Park at 12 noon and moving along city streets, returning to the park for a grand concert celebration. Be a part of this unforgettable experience. Enter a float or group or become a sponsor. Visit JesusInTheCity.com to get involved.
Welcome back to Policing with You. And in studio today we have Dr. Everett Penn, and we're talking about the Teens and Police Service Program, or TAPS, something that we had started doing in St. Kitts some time ago. Had to pause, but we're back. And we have Dr. Penn in studio, and we're just having a conversation about the program. Doc, just before the break, we're talking about the training that the officers go through. But have you seen how the program may have helped to bridge some of the gaps that we have been mentioning earlier?
Very much so. We know that research is extremely important. So when every youth begins the program, we have what we call a pre-test. A pretest is about 40 questions that are asking things like, what are your thoughts about the police? Do you like the police? Would you be involved in doing criminal activity? All those questions like that. And we ask those questions before the students meet the police officers. Then the youth go through about 11 weeks of the program, meeting about once a week for about an hour, hour and a half. They go through the program. And mentorship is extremely important, but learning these different modules, these different lessons, making them active learning for the opportunity to keep the thought in mind. So it's not just sitting there and, oh my gosh, when is this going to be over? But active learning. And then at the end, we have what we call a post-test, which is asking some of the same questions that were in the pre-test, asking those questions. And what we're able to see is 20, 30, 40% rise in, I like the police, I won't be involved in criminal activity, I trust the police, I'll be involved in community activity. Do we see it always rise that high? No, but we are able to see the areas that do, and again, that research is available at www.tapsacademy.org, so we'll be interested to see the research related to St. Kitts and Nevis when we finish sometime in May or June.
Okay, that would be. Caller. Okay, go ahead, caller. You're on. Welcome to Policing with you.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Homeland.
Yes, I feel at home.
Yeah, because I remember listening you in 2018.
Oh, my goodness. Not too fast.
Doc, I want to ask you a question because I like do my own little research, see, and study the minds and study people.
Yes.
Now, Doc, I personally feel that the kind of rap music and reggae music is taking a toll on we youngsters today. You're getting the lyrics, for instance, like the great Bob Marley, the Born in Whaler, the Jacob Miller Killer. All you're getting is gun talk, woman parts, woman just vagina. That's the lyrics we're getting, and that is a problem. I think we need to get very serious around the world and legislate on these lyrics. For instance, you heard about the boy Vance Cartel? Great influence to make we youngsters them get better and study guns. Have a good morning. This is Jam down here talking.
Thank you, sir. Caller. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to Policing with you. Go ahead, caller. You're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, good morning to every one of you all in the studio.
Good morning.
Morning.
And it is encouraging, of course, for me to call, such as everyone else who wants to and make the effort, because we all understand what they are trying to do, the police in the Federation.
Yes.
And with the help coming from elsewhere, we appreciate that. However, the very first presentation this morning, significantly, there was a few words uttered and echoed in this society that the person who is chairing this program this morning responded and said, they agree with you. We all agree with you. And I must admit the fact, policing is not easy. Dealing with crime, it is as well as difficult as anything else. But you said safety, that is first and foremost. Approaching anything you have to deal with as a police officer, you have to prepare yourself. Go expecting the unexpected, because everything today in society is automatic. The fact is that you also said that we, our police officers, know the children in the school, the neighborhood, the community. Yes, that is the first approach. Knowing something is understanding how to deal with it. You also use the word dialogue. That is missing. Communication is missing. A very simple word that society failed to do today. Why? So many things are not done properly, are not done right, on time, and at least people using the word compromise to make things comfortable for other people, and that's not true. Cannot happen. But my friend, I say that because anybody who come and lend this knowledge to us are a friend of the Federation. We are happy that you're making it possible, an effort for us to fight crime. Crime, when you have to deal with that, police presence have to be on the street. and we need to see a lot more presence of police officers. Gentlemen, I thank you all for giving me the time to at least speak this that I understand, and do have a good day.
And thank you
very much.
for
Good job. Goodbye.
We appreciate your call.
May I respond to both of those calls here?
You may die.
Thank you so much for both of those calls. Indeed, the second caller was discussing dialogue and the difficult job policing takes place. And we have to remember, today I got off one of the ships today here and visited with you here. You have a very difficult job because tourism is so very important to you. And sadly, the fact is, if there's something that happens to one tourist, then that's an effect internationally on you as St. Kitts and Nevis. And you do a job every single day of taking care of us, letting us shop and enjoy your beautiful land, and then we get back on the ship and we say goodbye. What I think is missing sometimes is we who come here as tourists, we don't remember that there are people who live here, that this is a nation of people who are citizens that have concerns and cares that are long after us leaving when the ship departs the port. So I wanted to get that point across and let you know that that is not something that's missed. The second point is the first caller that talked about the music and media that's presented there. Indeed, we know that the brain of an individual doesn't fully form until about age 25. And that the time of 15, 16, 17 years old is such an influential time of learning what is right, what is wrong, and even before that, as we know as criminologists. And even though these sounds, these musics, these images may be out there, we have to remember that there are parents that must step in that gap and have the ability to turn off these radios, these other places that may be a bad influence for the youth. They're always going to be out there. Just as I said earlier, as youth, when we were youth, there were musics and other things out there that people thought were bad to us. But having the parent and others that can turn it off or have conversation and dialogue, do things with your kids so that perhaps that they can take that time of being with family rather than listening to things that may influence them negatively.
Okay, we'll take the call. Go ahead, caller. You're on. Welcome to Policing with you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First time I'm intervening in this program.
Thank you. We appreciate your call.
And it is a very good program. Let me say something.
Yes, sir.
The police always got good ideas. They put them to practice. But you want to tell you what is the police problem? Consistent. You're not consistent. No, let me say this. When I was a young guy, from a little youth growing up, I used to know I could have called a lot of the old-time police by name, by face, because I used to see them in the community. They used to order the rum shops, they used to cross Irish Town, they used to through Mac Night, they used to be up and down. They didn't know the alleys. We the youths didn't know them. We call them, they call out to us, they will talk to us. It's gone years now. I mean, just recently I hear someone tell me that they saw the couple of police going through Mac Night talking to the people. I said, that's good. But, you know, it is a step too late. The police must always keep up its presence. Let people know their deal. Right? Not when something happens, they come out and they make a big impact, and then when you look, you know, hear them and not see them again. No, it's a lot of things that affect the community. The noise on the vehicles, the bad driving, and some of the drivers. And when the police talk to them, they get on bad. People don't hear what police say. You know why? Because what I just said, the police are not consistent. And the police, and next thing, don't practice what they preach. Not hitting y'all. I mean, if y'all go back to your table, you will see what I'm talking about. Good program, but y'all don't keep it going. You need to keep it going. Right now, look, the accidents that happened. Now, I think it's last year, earlier, 6 accidents happened in the early part of the year. No response. The exercise, the accident started Late in the year now, and you realize a couple of people dead again. 13 people died. You put out a response. But what I'm saying, if you do all this task in the early stage and go after those drivers, you would have got them extra drivers today. I mean, things will happen. Right? But what I'm saying, put out your presence, let them know your deal. Even in a marked vehicle, unmarked vehicle. You know? So they take chance. Night, look, let me tell you something. I used to see police on 4th Street and all over. 24 hours. Don't care how late you're on 4th Street. You see police. You see maybe a sergeant talking to a private to the top. You come down on Central Street. You see a next to police again talking. You go behind the treasury. You see police behind you. You come in class. Sometimes we trouble the police when we coming from movie and we say, police, you're doing it, man. You're doing it. He said, no, man, I'm cooling out, man. You know? You don't see them things now. All you see is a car pass you. Whoop. You don't know if it's a police, it's not police, but you don't know if it's a police. And these are the things need to change. Park up the car. If 3 police, one to stay with the car, the other to walk for a good distance and, you know, a couple of yards and come back. People see you. Let people understand. People know who police is who and who is who. They know them by name, they know them by face. You don't see them things now. And that is the thing that lock them, and that is the thing that we are talking about. We want to see the police more. We want the police to react more. So stop this lot of noise. Something when you're in your house and you're listening to something important and the muffled noise. All them things that don't happen. Look, you go down the bus stop, the busman out of order. The drinking, the speeding. It comes under control, but you all have to be on the ball every day. Not today and not tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. We always appreciate your comments. I hope this is not the last time that you will call.
I hope so too.
Yes, Doc?
It is a difficult task of policing, and one of the areas that around the nation, around internationally, is the shortage of police officers. And I don't know your numbers, but that is a case and issue there of recruiting and maintaining folks to make it through the police department. One police department I was recently talking to said that they had recruited 50 individuals to be police officers, but at the end, when it was time to enter the police academy, they only had 8. Going through all the process, the physical process, the educational process, the background process. So there are certain characteristics that must be in place to be ready to be a police officer. Then to go through the task, to be the person to do that. So I guess this is an opportunity to kind of turn it back to the citizens here to say, if you see that there is an issue, that there is a problem, why not think about applying and being a part of the solution? I don't know if there are any positions open now, but think about that. Oh, okay. There are opportunities.
Okay. Caller, go ahead. Welcome to Policing with you. You're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Dumpling speaking.
Yes.
I'd like to see the gentleman come back here because man said that the police are bad. He have good and bad. But he have some of the police them. They just talk bad about some of the police. If they hear police get a position, they want to come on the road and say a lot of things. But then, bring them down. Let them do the work. Or you need to go back on beach. No police on beach. Police need to walk the road, not driving in government vehicle, with the vehicle up. And if something happens, they're to the back of the government headquarters. You can't show the police. Once upon a time, you up there by Cooley, a police done by social security by the bridge. If somebody attacks somebody, the police come, one come up with us. Not now. police, when you stop in police, if they hear somebody on the radio, like me, and say something, what I see, the police, them sometimes in the car and say me to fire. And all them folks, how do you want people to help them? You also help the police. But if police meeting you and showing them all them pulling the word and pointing at you, and next thing they learn, when the police them come up with the training police them, put in the khaki and the bullet spray before they come real police. They carry them with the bad habit where they know. So when the DTA pass out now, they walk in the shoes. Now they will bring them down the ferry terminal. They put a beer in a paper bag and they drink it behind a bag. They will expect when the police don't change and come out, they're going to do the same thing. Because a couple of them, I see who I know from a baby and come up, doing it right now. That's come right on the ferry terminal and drinking. So, when people talk, I want to view, this is Dumpling, see you all.
Thank you, Dumpling. And when you see that, report them, let abuse. Any comment?
Well, I think what we're hearing is that the citizens want to see police officers, and community policing is not easy. It's difficult. It takes a lot of time, effort. And the idea of TAPS Academy being here allows for just another avenue of hearing that conversation, that dialogue, responding to what the citizens are asking for. So it's a great first step with TAPS Academy, and hopefully other steps can be taken, even though you may be short-staffed, that can do lots of things to have the citizens feel comfortable about seeing your presence and the ability of being out there and being known. And being seen again by the citizens.
And is there a role for citizens to play in the TAPS program?
Sure, indeed. Thanks for asking, indeed. With TAPS Academy, the modules are learned, and we hope that the students take their lessons back home to their parents. There's also opportunity for the presentations and service learning out in the community where the students have to do a project out in the community to better the community. So sometimes it's working to help feed the hungry or maybe making clothes or something of that nature. But that's an opportunity for the students to do something great in the community. That could be thought of as a good program to bring together citizens and police to see the police officers more often.
Definitely. Caller. Okay, go ahead, caller. You're on.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning and welcome to Policing with you.
Yes, good morning to the listeners home and abroad. Carl Brown here.
Yes, Mr. Brown.
I have a couple of suggestions and things concerning the police and questions. One, when our police force is going to start giving the police officers them police cam. You know the camera where they hook on.
Body cam, yes.
Yes, the body cam. Because you see, that will protect the police and protect the public. Because you know many complaints of police abuse and that kind of thing. Lots of it reach to court. The police them win most of those cases. Lots of time those complaints don't go anywhere. So I suggest that we start moving forward towards the police with the body cam. Another thing is concerning the police. I see the police, you have a lot of police in different high schools and so. What about the high command and some of the junior police go to maybe some of the assemblies and outline to especially the fourth and the fifth form of them who very near of leaving school, how great the opportunity is to join the police force and where they can reach by being a police and what a contribution they can make to their country, because thousands of children come out of think it's Navy school every year. And when a police training squad is there, you all don't have 50 or 60. And it is shameful right? But yet then, the same parents of those children, and even those children want the police, the small little force that we have that they won't join, want the police assistance when there is a problem against them, or even for them. So I think some recruiting of the 4th and 5th farmers them in all the high school in St. Kitts Nevis, and to show them walk with different ranks, walk from the constable right up. Even sometimes you can walk with a deputy commissioner and commissioner and, explain to them, show them, well, I used to be in the cadets, I used to be in the Boy Scouts, and see where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I am now deputy, I am now commissioner, and you guys can reach here too. We need to do some scouting of these children because many of them, when they left 5th farm, they don't go to college, they can't afford to go overseas university and college, they end up on the corner. And next thing, they're over in the prison or they're in the cemetery. A gone guys.
And thank you, Carl.
Indeed, that is one of the aspects that TAPS Academy that we've learned that does happen. Again, that dialogue takes place, learning what police officers do, police officers then kind of mentoring those youth, and we find that these youth then say, you know what, policing isn't so bad. My preconceived notions about policing are not negative, and we have them then join the police department. So one of the extras that come is the opportunity to recruit folks to be part of the police department.
And over the years, I just happened to be working at the training academy at the moment. So I've been there for years, and recruiting has generally always been a challenge. And we're hoping to recruit now, and it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. So we welcome all. Okay, go ahead. I'm policing with you. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Years ago, we had a guy named Ivan Hanley, started as a private, and worked himself right up to the top. He was an investigator, and he went in no university like where some of these young men get it. And Ivan was a community man. You hear where several callers talk about the presence. Anyway, you see a whole what they call them, boy, the Land Rover Jeep where we used to get out of Hanley, where England, where police used to use. You see Hanley all over places where you didn't expect to see him, and he had a band in the community. People just were not just there for him because he was a down-to-earth fellow, and all them things blocking. Now the caller just before me, the caller make a valid point. You don't see much in the school from the hierarchies in the force. The middle of the force, we have a breakdown there, but the hierarchies before the commissioner, they must play a vital role to make the commissioner look good, and you ain't getting that. You're not getting that, and that is a serious problem in the communities then. Now, if you have an ASP going to the different high schools, you could get youths towards you in the force because that's how it used to be long time. You see the old man wallowing up there? You all got a tendency when these guys done so and they gone home to the wife. You all don't go and talk with them. His experience about what they just were saying, I know wallowing as a little boy in the police force, managing the police force. With Chiefy, with Frank, with Hugh, when Hughes them commanding. And this is a serious problem because we got laws here and we need police. Mm-hmm. And this gangster business here we take our think it's so. Because me, generation ain't commit this so. And this can't work here. Have a good day again. This is just
Thank you.
And bring them back down.
That's it.
So I think we're here. The folks want to have more interaction with you.
Yes, I think we'll just take the opportunity to wrap up. Okay, I'll make this the final call and then we'll wrap. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Caller, good morning. Welcome.
I didn't really want to call, but something come to me.
That is fine. We welcome the call.
Now, take for instance, watch this road. Miss Rose to tell me, I'll tell the people she's not a traffic cop. She's a police. But look at something with Miss Rose. When Miss Rose first come out on the road, a lot of people didn't understand Miss Rose, and a lot of people used to had all kind of things to say. No. People respect Miss Rose because they see Miss Rose for the wonderful and good job she's doing. She's telling people, drive properly, put on your seat belt. She talk with people. She don't always summon. She will tell people, your seat belt save lives and these things. And that is what we want to see from the police. No, look at something. Miss Rose, she said she's not a traffic cop. But, you know, Miss Rose is the only police on the road dealing with traffic issues. And we don't see no other police like backing up Miss Rose. Who you don't tell who we don't see? We don't see 3 ladies that'll be up Cotton Street Got, Fort Thomas, Liverpool Road, down in the Plaza, and on the Bell Road. Them is who we just see working with Miss Rose. God bless them, Miss Rose and she gang. And we need more traffic police to be out there. Train Miss Rose, training them. She's a senior road officer. And train them because, you know, me don't hear people saying who come to understand Miss Rose. When Miss Rose gone, the road gone back to confusion. Because Miss Rose is who to bring the busman them. The bus, as soon as they see her, they pull up the stop. Up College Street, got some and the bus stand. Anyway, the bus stand to Miss Rose. And others who don't drive, what is the respect Miss Rose? We need to see more police getting the praise and doing like Miss Rose, doing a good job. People used to say she bad, but now people see her looking like an American police. One more thing I got to say before I go. They just say the police force ain't got a lot of members. But what happened to all them security members who are working for government? I'm talking like the port guard who wear the same uniform like the police. They want to go, they used to train like the police. They used to look like the police. They could help the police do a lot of the work too. The top ones, instead of them sit hiding up and down the place and sitting down and chatting on the phone, they need to come out and show the presence. The 3 young girls that have been with Miss Rose to do more police work than a lot of them. You know, you always see them on the foot. Some of them, you go around the corner, you see them on the sitting. Some of them are the one that the senior officer don't see them. But them is the one who's supposed to come out and help and stop saying, oh, we ain't got sufficient manpower because government paying them. Thank you, because I hope I are taking these things, what people telling us, I think these people are got on government uniform and government paying them. They need to help the police. They need to train and understand what work they're doing and what the work contains. They're just here to sit down in the uniform and receive money. They need to work. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Look at the caller.
Okay. Go ahead, caller. The final call.
Hello, good morning, police and with you, yes, police and with you. Everybody makes a solid point to change. Look here, Antigua got a problem, you know. And if I, be looking out for the citizens, I don't know what happen, you know. Y'all need to really patrol and do the work just like long time we left from here right now, we got up the surface. You just see the police are walking around, just go cross me by the square, come back, go stand up a while by the clock. You ain't seeing it. And the traffic warden, them put all of them on the phone. If somebody pull when me back as an edge of the person going across there, none of them will say, help. Yes, we need to I beg you pull up on Antigua. You hearing it, you know? Because you're in thing on YouTube and Facebook, I show you. Coming up with a serious kidnapping problem. So, you all need to be on your peril and out there doing the government work. Please, be begging all you. Police saying like before some in the past, they up in the glass sun up. So somebody round and bang around the foot now. I just to say, police help, nobody hear me. I beg you wake up. You hear from Mr. Jam them just say, when them go in your hand there, them really done dead. John and them, hey, yeah. Why you got them people that on the bus stand honking their hand at disturbing my little old ear? And then driving in the area with this. I won't tell you what they say because I don't hear them. Out of order, how it comes down? Never we know you submit them. The team that stand off for the cycle, you gone after somebody. The vehicle to you wake up here and mind, look at mind, kidnapping out there. Okay, now drop an hour, we don't step your down now. I say, oh, in Antigua, you know, happen to man, Antigua just really now, you look back to you, see Antigua behind you, yeah? I beg you, wake up. That's all your duty to secure me.
And thank you, caller. I always appreciate the call. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
I'm glad to get in the one of the things that I see, there's an echo. Anyway, you're hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
I see the defense forces.
You can turn on the volume on your radio.
Hello?
You can turn on the volume on your radio. Go ahead, I'm hearing you.
The volume on my radio?
Yeah, but go ahead, we're hearing you.
Okay. I think so. Give me a minute. I think I can hear it. Just a minute, just 1 second.
Okay, I'll give you it.
Okay, any better?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, one of the things I notice is that I hardly see police vehicles on the road. I see the defense force. When I walk out of town, I see the defense force vehicles on the road more often than I see police vehicles. When last I see a policeman on the road? When I went to town and I drive down on the Bay Road, a policeman, apparently there's one person said to me just before I make this call that they're guarding the tourist boat and them. A police in uniform, most times when I drive on the Bay Road, is done there by the senator off. I don't see policemen on the road like before. And that is really lacking. I want to know why a policeman is stationed down by the senator is beyond me. But nearly every time I go to town, my route out of town is the Bay Road, and there is always a policeman on the Bay Road down there by the senator. You know, you got to do better than that. Or not visible like before. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Go ahead, caller, you on? Okay. Okay, thank you to all the callers, and again, we always welcome the input and the feedback. Okay, Doc, I'll just give you, if you want to respond to any, and you do your wrap.
I guess as we're closing up here, the theme that I hear over and over again, not just here, but in other places, is that the citizens, the people want to see the police officer. And what we know from criminology is, yes, the presence of a police officer is very important to deter crime. Cameras are also important in deterring crime. Body cam, as someone else talked about here. What we must keep in mind is the cost and the effort of putting a police officer depends on us as citizens. The police departments need you. So if we could turn this around with a great start with TOPS Academy coming back to St. Kitts and Nevis, but think seriously about being that police officer in the community, the change agent in the community, to allow for more police officers to be there and those that know the community. So I hope that the opportunity and the information is out there for folks to know and think about seriously stepping forward and being a police officer to be that change agent that so many people talk about as necessary to deter and to stop crime.
Could you mention where they can find some of the information on the TAPS again?
Indeed, please look to www.tapsacademy, TAPS Academy. .org. You'll also be able to follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you'll see some of the pictures of TAPS Academy internationally, but also TAPS Academy here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So we started up about a month ago, and it'll be going until the end of this school year, and then we'll be starting back up in the fall. So I'm looking forward to my visit today, to seeing some of the classes, talking with some of the officers, and just doing what we can as we are in contact with you almost every day to ensure that the great programming is taking place.
And then thank you for coming, and thank you for the input that you have in terms of the TAPS program, the continuous dialogue, continuous assistance to the officers and to the force on the whole. I want to thank the callers for calling in and with valid input, and we always appreciate the input. Criticism, when it is constructive, is always welcome. So don't be afraid. And for the citizens, you have a part to play as well. And it works better when we work together. Whether it is in the TAPS, with the students, with the teachers, with the community, or it's the police and the community. As a whole, it just works together. Works better when we work together. As crime fighting is not a policing thing, it's an everyone's thing. I want to thank you for joining us again, and we invite you next week for a similar program in Policing with You. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Think about equal rights for all.